Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Valley Disaster Preparedness Fair. Today, we're going to be talking about technology for situational awareness and emergencies. Mostly social media, but we're going to talk about a few other things you can do to remain aware of what's going on around you. A little bit about my background. I'm a retired police officer, but once I retired, I really felt a need to be involved in emergency preparedness. So I joined the LA Fire Department CERT team, and through that got interested in amateur radio and emergency communications. That's the bulk of what I do these days. I also teach classes in various venues, including SOS survival products. So why do we talk about technology? What has that got to do with knowing what's going on around you? The media has traditionally a lot of lag time before they get stories out. There are several reasons for this. First of all, the public information officers have to become aware that an incident's occurring, and it takes them some time to come up to speed on that. Once they're involved, they have to run all the information through the incident commander to make sure that's information that is accurate and also information that the public needs to know. And then the news media is limited to when they have scheduled newscasts. If the story's big enough, they may break in with a bulletin, but for most stories, it's going to wait until they have a regularly scheduled newscast. And then, of course, the TV news wants video, so they have a tendency not to run stories until they have a crew on scene and have video from the scene. The other thing is that incidents, particularly brush fires, can move much faster than the media can keep up with. A fast-moving brush fire moves faster than even the fire department can keep up with, and they're already on scene. So that's another reason why having good technology may help you to keep informed. And the other thing about social media particularly is you've got a huge number of reporters and the people that are reporting things on social media. So one of the ways that you can do this, and probably the best way to get fast and accurate information, is to have a police scanner. They have several big advantages. They have instant access to information because you're hearing it as the information is occurring and being transmitted from, for example, the incident commander to the troops in the field. Also, the information at that point is pretty much unfiltered, so you're getting kind of the down and dirty information. You have the ability to listen to different frequencies, which might include command frequencies where decisions are being made, and tactical frequencies where they're actually doing the work in the field. Having a police scanner allows you to control what you listen to. If there's an incident going on one particular frequency, you can lock the scanner into that frequency and not listen to any of the other things that you have programmed in. And scanners are not internet dependent. If the internet goes down, your scanner still works as long as you've got power. Pretty much agenda free. Social media, you'll find people with agendas that'll be posting things that may or may not be true. With the scanner, you're basically hearing the raw data, so it's a real advantage. There are disadvantages, though. One of them is that digital scanners tend to be very expensive, starting at around $250. And you need a digital scanner in order to be able to listen to certain agencies. In our area, for example, LAPD is all digital, and you need that type of scanner in order to hear them. One of the other problems with the scanners, particularly digital scanners, is there's a steep learning curve. You have to learn how to program and operate the scanner, and that can be pretty difficult for the layperson. I've been doing scanners since I was 18 years old, and it still takes me a while to figure out a new scanner. So that's a big issue. Another one is knowing what frequencies to program in. There are hundreds of frequencies in the LA area. LAPD alone has more than 100 frequencies. So learning what to put in and what information is on which frequency can be a big problem. Then you have to understand what you're hearing. It isn't as obvious as it might be. A lot of codes are used, and you really can have trouble understanding what you're hearing. And you got to have the scanner with you. If you're out away from the home, you may not have that scanner in order to reference. One of the alternatives to having a scanner is having a phone app. There's a website on the internet called broadcastify.com, and they stream to all the different phone apps that are out there, which means that you can listen to the scanner anywhere that you have your phone. Individual scanner owners have a cooperative agreement with Broadcastify, and they provide streams from their scanners in their homes, and Broadcastify arranges to have it distributed on the web and out to the different scanner apps. Some of the apps are free, some of them are paid. Usually the paid apps just get rid of commercials. You don't get a lot of extra material. They may also be a little easier to use, but the free apps are really pretty good. So what are the advantages of scanner apps? Well, they're not limited to your reception area. You can dial up on the scanner app a stream from anywhere in the country, and there even are international streams available. So if you hear about an incident, maybe in a city that you have a good friend in, you can tune in and listen to what's going on there. Like I said, streams are available in most U.S. cities, and also some international streams are available. The apps are very easy to use. There are not a lot of settings to make. You don't have to understand what frequencies to tune in. You basically just have to find the stream for the agency that you want to cover. Most apps allow you to mark favorite streams that are easy to go back to each time you want to use them. And some apps will also let you know when a stream has particularly high activity, which is handy when an incident's occurring. The apps are available wherever you have your phone, so you're not limited to a piece of hardware that sits at your home. That only assumes that you have a data connection with your cell phone. One of the disadvantages, you don't control the scanner. It's going to transmit everything that the individual scanner owner thinks is important. And during a particular incident, there may be extraneous frequencies that you don't care to listen to. For example, during a fire, they activate tactical channels that are normally quiet, so your scanner owner may not have those programmed in, yet during an incident, that may be the very thing that you want to listen to. So that is a disadvantage. It will reduce your battery's phone life. If you have a phone that barely makes it through the day, then you're going to probably find your battery dead before the end of the day. Won't work when cell and Wi-Fi is down, so that's an issue, particularly in cases like we have now where the power companies turn off power during high wind events to prevent wires from coming down. You may lose your cell service and the scanner app won't work. Pulse Point Respond app is my favorite single app we're going to talk about today. It is fire information, and it is directly connected to the fire department's computer-aided dispatch system. It originally was created to notify CPR-trained volunteers that there's a need for CPR in the area, but it has grown to do a lot more, and I find it a very, very useful app. The biggest advantage is that it is triggered directly by the fire department's computer-aided dispatch system. So you don't have to do anything. It will alert you when an event is occurring. And it doesn't wait for somebody else to decide to put this out. I've actually been in fire stations where I got a pulse point alert before the fire station was toned down to respond to the incident. It's almost instant. It's as accurate in terms of information as the information provided by the 911 caller. And you decide what agencies to follow. In our area, Ventura County Fire, Los Angeles County Fire, Los Angeles City Fire, Burbank, Glendale are all part of the system. So you can decide if you want to listen to one or more of those agencies. You can also decide what incident types you want to hear. If you're only interested in brush fires, you can only check the brush fire box, and it will not notify you of other types of incidents. So it makes it a very flexible application. The app's available for Android and iPhone, and it's also available for PC and Macs, and I believe also Linux. Another advantage to this is that for most agencies, you can press a button and listen to the fire department's dispatch channels. LA City Fire does not allow that because of privacy concerns, but most of the other agencies do. Disadvantages: for some reason, some incidents don't appear on the app. I've never figured out why that occurs. Even if you have that type of incident selected, sometimes they just don't show up. LAFD doesn't display medical calls for privacy reasons, the same reason they don't do the audio files. The next app we're going to talk about is called Pulse Point Respond, and this is my favorite app of all. It is connected directly to the fire department's computer-aided dispatch system, and that means it's reliable information and it is fast information. The app was originally created to notify CPR-trained volunteers that there's somebody nearby that needs CPR, but it grew quickly to cover several other uses, and a lot of people find it very useful. The main advantage of the Pulse Point app is that it's triggered directly by the fire department's dispatch computers. The minute an incident is entered into the dispatch computer, the system will alert you, assuming that you've selected the type of incident that's involved. That's almost immediate. I've actually been in fire stations where I've gotten the Pulse Point app before the fire station got the alert through their dispatch system. The information is accurate, at least as accurate as the information provided by the 911 caller. You decide what agencies to follow. If you want to watch incidents from LA City Fire, you select LA City Fire. Ventura County Fire, LA County Fire, LA City Fire, Burbank, Glendale, all subscribe to the system, and you get to choose which of the agencies that you want to listen to. Also, you decide what incident types you want to be notified of. If you're only interested in confirmed brush fires, you check that box and you won't be alerted to anything else. So it's very flexible, and it's just a great app. You can also view it on the web, on PC, Mac, Linux, anything with a web browser. The fire department also, in most cases, offers through Pulse Point the ability to listen to their dispatch radio channels. LAFD has chosen not to do this, but most other agencies do allow that. There are some disadvantages. Some incidents don't appear in the app, and I've never figured out why this is, but even for incident types that I've selected, sometimes I just don't get notified. Another disadvantage with LA Fire is that because of privacy concerns, they've decided not to post medical calls. The other agencies, I believe, all do this, but Pulse Point does not, and that's over privacy issues. The next app we're going to talk about is called Citizen. This also provides police and fire information. The advantages are that it is generated by users in the field. Because of that, there's thousands of people out there that could potentially generate information. The information is typically available very quickly because of all those people out in the field that have the app. Users can also share photos and video if they're actually at the scene of the incident. There are disadvantages, though. I found that frequently the information is inaccurate. Again, this is provided by people out in the field, and they may not know what they're looking at. They may have an agenda and may be reporting something that's not true for a reason. So you have to take the information on this app with a little bit of a grain of salt. It also may be that they've gotten their information second or third hand, and because of that, that may not be so reliable. The next thing I want to talk about is Facebook. This is a social media platform that is the #1 platform out there. So you have a lot of users and the ability to get a lot of good information. Because it's the most popular social media site, there are a lot of people out there that are providing information, so that's a big advantage. There are more than 2 billion people use Facebook at least once a month. A lot of reporters, citizen reporters, that are providing information. There are pages for all kinds of interests, so that you can subscribe to pages that might be a crime watch page for your neighborhood or a fire information page. They're all available out there, and you get to pick and choose which ones you follow. Obviously, Facebook is available pretty much everywhere: PC, Mac, phone apps, whatever you have. And the information is often very, very quickly reported. Most companies and a lot of government agencies also use Facebook to disseminate information. So there are lots of places to source information that may keep you knowledgeable in an incident. And there are no limitations on your posts in terms of how many characters that you can use, which differs from some of the other apps we'll talk about. Like everything, there are disadvantages as well. Facebook is only good as the information that's generated. The information may not be accurate. Reporters in the field may not really understand what they're seeing. They may misinterpret things, particularly if they're in a hurry to get that report out. They may get it wrong. They may have secondhand information, which may be inaccurate. People may come up and say that they heard this or they heard that. Again, you need to take it with a grain of salt. And there's always people that have an agenda who are reporting things inaccurately intentionally. When you're looking at Facebook, you're going to have to wade through all the different comments. And in a big incident, there are going to be a lot of comments, and you may find that they're duplicate comments, duplicate threads on the same incident, and you're going to have to find a way to wade through that and glean the information that you find really helpful. Posts tend to get political. Most Facebook page administrators will tend to weed that out and will try to get rid of that stuff quickly once it's put up. But again, that's something you're going to have to weed through. I'm going to put a shameless plug in here. I'm involved with the LAFD CERT Valley Bureau Facebook page, and we are very well known for having accurate information very quickly when an incident occurs. So if you want to look at a page for Valley information, that's a good one to start with. Twitter, another popular social media. It focuses on the written word as opposed to pictures, although you can do pictures as well. Big advantage there, again, it has more than 300 million monthly users, so that brings a lot of reporters to get information. You can search by keywords or hashtags, as they call them, and find information that way, so you don't really have to wade through a lot of extraneous stuff to find information on the incident you're looking for. Hashtags like brush fire or bobcat fire or Sepulveda IC all will lead you to information on those incidents. You can direct messages to individuals by their username, which allows you to clue somebody in that something's going on. You also use that to provide information to the news media to get them involved. They get a lot of their stories by Twitter posts. And as I said, you can alert friends to incidents that might affect them. Here's some hashtags for local news media that they watch on a regular basis if you want to let them know about an event that's going on. Twitter can provide instant information. That's one of the beauties of social media. Disadvantages, there is a 280 character limit. It used to be a lot less. 280 characters allows you to get a lot of information out. And of course, you could always post multiple posts on the same incident. As with any social media, the information may be inaccurate. People have a lot of different reasons for posting things, and you may find that it's inaccurate. And again, you're going to have to figure out a way to sort through all the comments and threads in order to get to the good information that you really want. And again, politics always seems to find its way into these things. Next thing we're going to talk about is earthquake apps. And there are a ton of them out there, but we're going to talk about 3 in particular. These apps get their information directly from the early warning system. All the other apps get their information indirectly. While the featured apps promise to give you up to 1 minute of early warning, you have to understand that the technical limitations in the cell phone system may delay these early warnings, so you can't really count on them. And while it may not seem that a minute of early warning is much, it might allow you to pull your car over and not be under an overpass when the quake happens, or allow a surgeon to stop operating and to protect the patient, allow you to get out of an elevator. Certainly would allow you enough time to drop cover and hold on. So there is an advantage to the early warning, even if it's very, very slight. So the first one we'll talk about is Quake Alert LA. This is a partnership between the City of Los Angeles and the U.S. Geological Survey. It's one of 3 apps that we are going to talk about that are powered by the Quake Alert project. It has a direct connection with the USGS sensor network, so you're going to get very quick information. It'll send an alert anytime there's a 4.5 or greater earthquake expected in Los Angeles County. And with a quake on the San Andreas Fault, for example, they start down by the Salton Sea, and there is time to alert us in LA before the quake hits. It does also allow you to look up quakes of 3.0 or greater on the map that is included in the app. And it provides tips on earthquake preparedness and recovery. So all in all, it's a really useful app, and of course it's free for both Android and iOS. The next app is called Quake Alert USA. This is very similar to Quake Alert, except for this covers the entire United States. It's another one of those 3 apps we talked about that has a direct connection to the USGS sensor network. It knows where you are, and so your alerts are going to be based on where you are and based on the predicted shaking where you are. So unlike the other apps, it isn't based on a Richter scale. It's based on the predicted shaking where you physically are based on your phone's location. You decide on this app what level of shaking that you want to be notified of. You can choose weak, light, or moderate shaking, and you'll be notified of those. Again, it has earthquake education resources included right in the app. And it provides a list of the quakes that have occurred recently in California. And by the way, it does only alert you if you are in California and there is a quake that is likely to affect you in terms of shaking. The last app we'll talk about for earthquake apps is called MyShake. This again is a partnership with USGS, Early Warning Labs, and in this case, UC Berkeley. It's again one of 3 apps that are tied to the Shake Alert project and does offer direct connection. It uses anonymized data from all the cell phones of the users that have this app. So your actual cell phone will provide sensor information to the USGS and UC Berkeley, and they will configure their alerts to all users based on the accumulated data of all these alerts. They have more than 1 million people that are in this program that are supplying data right now. And it's based on a 4.5 or greater quake when it is expected to cause light to heavy shaking in your area. So again, it's based on the shaking where you are, not on the magnitude at the epicenter of the quake. And again, it provides earthquake safety tips, so you can use that as an educational tool. Alerts are delivered to California only. They're working on some nearby states and hope to have that available soon. What other types of emergency alerts are out there? Each jurisdiction has their own program for alerting their residents. Many use Everbridge, which used to be known as Nixle. This is a multimedia system that provides wide alerts in many different forms. Alerts can come in terms of what they call WIA alerts. WIA alerts include 4 types of alerts. First of all, presidential alerts. These are very serious situations where the president believes that everyone needs to know some form of information. And these, by the way, cannot be overridden in your cell phone. You cannot turn those off. The next is what they call imminent threats to life and safety. Those you can control. Amber alerts for missing children is another type. And then last is information conveying information about the safety of life and property. Again, this is based on where you currently are, assuming that you have location information turned on your phones, not necessarily your registered address. So if you're visiting in an area and you're signed up for alerts, you would get the alert even though you may not be in your home area. Other ways that Everbridge would alert you is via text message. These can be very quick, but there can also be delays based on your cell phone carriers. You can opt to have a phone call made, either to cell phone, home phone, or both. You can have an email sent. So a lot of different ways that this can be done. They also can trigger the emergency alert system, which is the alert system that you see on your televisions, where they interrupt, often with a scroll across the bottom of the screen. So the Everbridge platform offers an awful lot of ways to be alerted. Most of these services require that you opt in. In other words, you have to sign up. And where you do that differs by app. I would search your local either city or county for notifications, and it'll show up in a Google search. In the city of Los Angeles, there are applications known as Notify LA. This is run by the city EMD, and you can sign up. It does use Everbridge, so all of those notification methods that we talked about are available. You can get email, text, telephone alerts. You must sign up, and you can do that either by texting your zip code to 888777, or you can sign up online at the link that's shown on the screen. Other Los Angeles County agencies have their own ways to sign up, and I've provided a link there on screen that you can use to find out what your city or county requires for sign up. Ventura County, I put this one in since they're so close. They have a very good alert. Not only their regular alert system, but Ventura County has an excellent website that you can check for up-to-date information. And I found that they're very quick at updating that. Okay, so those are many different ways that you can keep up with what's going on in your community. It's incredibly important that you remain situationally aware. In other words, know what's going on around you. And these apps and websites can help you to do that, but it's up to you to make that decision. In the early stages of an incident in particular, the cities and counties are not going to be able to let you know that you're in danger. So you need to know what's going on around you, pay attention, and if you think you might be in danger, get out. Don't wait for somebody to tell you to go. Thanks for coming today, and I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy the rest of our online fair, and have a good day.